Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Pocket aces straight away off the bat, bend the big blind. Alright, we'll three bet quite big here. Is he gonna fold? Yes, he will. So anyway, going forward, I was so eager to play today. At work, I was just thinking about how it all went bad. And then instead of dwelling about how bad we went, you can also just you can learn a lot from those sessions as well. So it just highlights what happened the other session, not last night's session, but the other session as well, is you can just find yourself just leaking a lot of money and then not knowing where it was. And we actually found out, a lot of calling on the river was just was is what's destroying us at the moment. So we fixed that leak up. We should be fine. All right, it's got to check behind here. He's not capped at all. If you've got queens, he's got quads. And remember we did that with kings last time? So with that same line, so we actually checked behind with kings that time. So he wasn't capped. So that's progress. Last time I remember I did bet and shoved all in. I think at that stage, or at least half size bet on the river, and he would have shoved, and then we probably would price the call. But the problem was with the two queens on the board. At worst he's got a queen he's calling with from the flop. So there's just no point. We're going to be behind there a lot of times. And if he's got jacks, he's never calling a bet anyway. So you're just better off just checking behind. So you're going to get called with better. All right, scary board, but it hits our range a lot better than our opponent. Beautiful. We don't want to give free cards away either. Such a dangerous board there. So yeah, anyway, what I was going back for, you have a bad session, you can really learn from it. Calling too much on the river. We got a little bit frustrated. I guess it was the three hands that we pointed out in the comments as well. That straight hand I was thinking about while I wasn't playing as well. I was thinking about that hand, just really thinking about, the board pairing up, right? But when we have a disguise straight like that on the river and shoving there, especially with the board pairing up, we lose all those combos that we hit a straight. You want the sets to get sticky and call the river. But when the board pairs up, then they've got a full house, and we sort of lose all those hands that with that we beat. They're gonna get called. So we didn't beat that many hands. So we should have just let go. We should not have shoved. Probably check folded. That's how sad it is, that spot anyway. And we've got a three bet king jack. I'm gonna call one more threes. Gonna call. We do have position with sevens now. All right, gonna bet here. Hopefully he folds. Definitely a spot where a lot of people won't think we're bluffing. So a multi-way pot, but we do have position. All right, ace king. See, if we bet on the river and hit the seven, we would have got paid there. So it wasn't a bad spot. Plus we were multi-way pot. So there's more chance once you hit the set there with the sevens. We'll definitely get there. All right, going to defend king nine. Yeah, so what we need to do, since we've found that terrible leak that we had yesterday, we're going to not call as much on the river size. And we're not just saying fold every river bet, but there's going to be certain scenarios. I'm going to fold here, though, with king nine. What I'll be doing is trying to ask myself first, what are we going to do? What do we actually beat? It's going to be a split second decision because we're playing 4 tables on Zoom. That's still enough for me to know. I'm going to check raise with fives. Should be able to hit again. Okay, I'm just going to bet here. We do, if a two of diamonds comes out, it's going to be interesting as well. We'll have a straight flush. So yeah, we'll be definitely asking ourselves a question. All right, going to overbet here. We do have a book. He calls. All right, perfect. Alright. And that was another scenario was what's with the overbets? And well, I did look it up a little bit. You know, the case of the overbets is sometimes what people do is they try and charge the draw, they try to push the draw cards out. So all the cards that are drawing, they're going to fold because they don't have you're pricing them out essentially, and you're trying to keep the hands that will stay in. It's a relatively new thing, the last couple of years, that move. But yeah, going back on the scenario with the river bet, we'll definitely ask the question first. Typically, what I do know is people typically don't bluff as much in a 3-bet pot and a 4-bet pot. We're not going anywhere with ace king. We do have a queen coming out. Probably could. You could probably also do a tight fold as well because there's a flush draw as well. So it could have some reverse implied odds there. So if you hit a queen of diamonds, we won't have the best hand sometimes. All right, gotta let go. So we do have a poison card, so that's the reason why I folded. It might seem pretty tight. I'm gonna double gutter. I'm gonna bet it actually with king 8. This is the scenario where we can just bet quite big and then get called. And if he does raise, we could be behind. All right, perfect. All right, gonna bet quite big. Could be in trouble though. Do not want to fold kings. Even though it was pre-flop though. Okay, interesting. He's gonna find out the bad news though. He'll have kings or something probably. Tens, all right. Not cashing out. I am running. I am being a little bit cheeky here. Almost expected the 10 to come out, but no. Right, we'll defend ace queen. Perfect flop for ace queen. Okay, didn't call. Maybe any pocket pairs they might have called. But yeah, regardless, going back to the scenario of, we so people bluff less on a 3-bet pot or better, typically. I'm not saying they never do, they do, but the chances are quite low. Also, they're on a paired board as well. Multi-way pot, we all know, typically they bluff less. Like, we're talking about under bluff spots. We're not talking about never bluffing. People do bluff. I do bluff in certain spots as well. You'll see. But yeah, we just want to make sure that we're asking the questions before we do silly calls to a raise or a shove. We don't want to get ultra sticky. We don't get overconfident. We need to be asking those questions. All right, so this is a good C bet spot unless he bets into us. Because the queen hits our range more than our opponent, he caps his range, which means we haven't got a capped range. As soon as the queen or picture cards come out, it's definitely going to hit our range advantage. And we're going to have a lot more nut flushes, or not nut flushes. We're going to have a lot more nuttish type hands. So that's the reason why we see bet there and it works most of the time. Same as scenario is when we open late position and they just call behind in the blinds. They cap their range and then they get forced to fold a lot of hands. That's why it's pretty important to raise. I'm just going to fight here. We do have a price. We're priced in. Plus, we don't have a bad hand. All right, deep stacked. Good call. All right, going to check here. I don't mind donking there, but I'm not going to. No multi-way pot. All right, so I'm going to at least roll bet here. Yeah, I should have actually bet the turn since we've got no showdown value. Oversized bet, multi-way pot. I'm going to let it go. So that is a spot where he might have some value there. And then also we've got a capped range, but at the same time, knowing that he's multi-way pot, he might need to know. Plus he's out of position, so he could be waiting for us to fire away. He could have a set there as well. So as soon as he checked there and everyone checked behind, he's probably just trying to catch up on some value there. All right, fours are gone. All right, ace jack, good kicker. All right, got a call here. Got a flush draw, but unfortunately didn't hit. I got a bet. Yeah, just check behind. I'm not gonna. Was thinking about bluffing queen 10, but thought no. Probably should have c-bet actually. It's the opportunity. We'll defend king 7. Top pair, bad kicker. We'll call to his. If he bets really big, we'll just fold, but he did open. Alright, it's gonna call just for the fact there's an ace. Alright, it's gonna call. Check behind. It's a case of just having showdown value with the king 7, and he's just gonna call when he's got an ace there. Or maybe slow playing a jack, so there's no point betting there. Pocket 8's gonna fold. Big bet. But anyway, going back again, just really happy that we actually folded or we checked behind with the kings, knowing that there's a possibility with aces there trying to slow play us. And with the last session as well, you do realize I did mention since we got kings and they bet. The first thing I did say, can we really fold here? And really thinking about it, I should have actually folded because the queen did come out. So if they had pocket queens, they might have had a set then, or quads at the stage, but they would have had a set with at least with pocket queens. Jacks wouldn't have played that way as well. And probably the worst hand you could possibly call with is probably aces there, thinking maybe he bluffs and we do win some bluffs. This hits our opponent's range, so I can't really bet here. Although he's got a lot of overcards in his range, so we can call. We could still have the best hands here. It's got sixes. All right, so we floated. It wasn't the worst play. I gotta bet this one. Jack 9 suited. All right, I got pocket queens. Ace queen gets pushed away. Good to see the flush didn't come out. We don't want to waste the flush coming out and everyone fold anyway. That's the reason why you do bet, because you want people to fold the times you don't hit. All right, this is definitely a raising spot. We'll bet anyway. Hopefully someone else is chasing the flush. That'd be nice. Maybe we did call behind, so we're actually under repped here a little bit. There's definitely a queen in someone's range here. All this talk, and I'd be happy to shove there as well. But it's folded to. And the flush did come out that time, but the board paired up, so that could have been a little bit disastrous. All right, so far it seems to be okay. Don't want to be talking too soon though. It's one of those pots where it helps our opponent. Got a lot of good cards coming on the turn. They're cool. That's one of them. I'm gonna call. Unfortunately, we missed. It is what it is. If we had the Queen of Spades on the turn, we would have had a straight. All right, have to call with ace three suited. Betting for value here with fives. Might get raised too. He might have a flush. He's got a flush, didn't raise us, so that's fine. There's other hands that would have called it. Would have called there as well, like a queen or a two pair. So it's not the worst. But if he shoved there, we should always probably fold there. All right. Pocket nines. All right, 9-4, gonna fold. King three's is gone. All right, all three bet with nines. He's short stacked anyway. He might shove and we're gonna call. We have to call. Gonna three bet queen jack from the small blind. All right, we're just gonna shove here. Not gonna mess around. He's short stacked anyway. Yeah, queen jack folding there with the four bet. He bought pairs, but it's bettered anyway. Hits our range. Or actually, he's the one that opened, so he hits his range more. But we had a lot of outs, so we don't mind building the pot there, especially if you're trying to go for the nut flush. And if he's got a jack there, he might get sticky as well. All right, still got to target the cutoff. We'll fold to the four bet though. Pocket jacks, here we go. Hit a set, beautiful. We'll check behind. All right, beautiful. The trap is laid. And we'll call. And then I don't know what else he's going to do here, but we should have the nuts unless he's got quads. All right, definitely raising. We're a bit under repped as well, so he might actually call. He might actually shove. If he's got a7, he might shove here as well. If he's got quads, we have to pay it. Only a small raise. Expecting the fault though. Although we are under rep, so who knows. He's trying to find a call. All right, king two's folding. And every time we have a bad session as well, there's always an excuse. All right, finds the call. I don't blame him for calling there. It was only a small call though. Maybe we should have bet a little bit bigger, but he took a long time to call, so maybe he did. He did find it hard to call. But anyway, going back, we always have an excuse when, every time we lose a bad session, it's mainly because we played bad or, there's a leak in our game. There's never been not a thing like there's cheating or the poker's rigged. None of that. There's always a reason why we've lost. I'm going to call and set mine. We're in position for sevens. So there's always a reason. Once we feel like I have to call. Once we feel like we've been cheated, then we probably have to give up online. But at the time, all right, we'll open up here. Hopefully he folds. We could have the best hands here a lot of the time. Perfect. All right, jacks. Multi-way pot. We're not going to bluff this spot. There could be queens or kings. I'm not going to value bet here. They could have tens, nines, or eights, though, that could call. But I think maybe kings or queens might bet here. Yeah. Expect to see kings or queens here. So the queens were there. And that's the reason why I wasn't going to bet. And going to call. Expect to see, hopefully get a spade actually. The board is paired up. Unfortunately, we lose to ace high if he's got it. 10-6. Didn't expect to win that one. That's actually nice. All right, we'll try and take down this pot since he doesn't want to win it. All right, got pocket kings. Got a 4-bet, 3-bet like we've got ace king. We are deep stacked, so checking there could have been good as well. All right, we'll call. Also, we'll throw a bet in here with kings. We just trying to pot control. Check here, got a set. So kings win, but so the reason why I checked there was we had a dynamic board, so someone was going to take a stab. Really? Got to fold aces actually. It's going to bet here, and if he's got a set, he's got a set. I don't want to see a set, but perfect. Calls with eights. Wow. Okay, didn't expect to see eights. Get it to firm 10-6 in position. And also leading up to yesterday. So let's have a look at. I'm going to describe exactly what happened leading up to yesterday. So there was a few other reasons, so external reasons why I had a bad session. So another thing was I had a couple of late nights. I had a couple of consecutive late nights. So watched Ross Noble, got home like at midnight. I do wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning for work typically. So, but yeah, anyway, 2 consecutive late nights. Then I was sort of rushed because I didn't want to have the session after dinner when I should have had it. I wanted to do it before but I pushed it. I rushed it. So first I was rushing the session that I shouldn't have played too early. Then I was already tired because I had consecutive sessions. And that's one of the reasons why towards the end of the session, I was actually starting to tilt because I was already tired. But the best thing to do, the best thing is you find your leaks and your weaknesses pretty easy when you play when you're tired. Okay, we've got a set, but that's the worst. It's the worst card. Now we just split it. Sucks. I'm going to call kings. Maybe we get a king on the river. That was the worst. Alright, we do have the nut flush with ace queen though. Would value bet there with kings, but split pot. With multi-way pot, don't think so. Jack 10, 2 pair calls. Nice. Alright, so far, a really good session. We did fold aces though. I mean, on the flop, we folded aces. Are they really? Sometimes they do that with a huge draw. That's a win. Sometimes they do that with a set. And they think that we just already got, they already think they've got aces or kings and they're trying to get it all in. Or they're going to make a draw. All right, Jack 10 folding. Out of position, so I fold there as well. So yeah, that's a bit of background before leading up to yesterday's session. So you could see a lot of things happening. Plus there was a bit of noise in the background as well. Not that you can hear it because I've actually improved the microphone so it doesn't actually hit, so you can hear background noise as much. I'm going to call defending, try and get the good set for the flush, sorry. All right, so we've got a gut shot disguised. King 10 letting go. All right, we'll throw a bet in because we've got a disguise. So if he does call, we've got this straight. And we can bet big here. Perfect. So he thought we were bluffing, and we were semi-bluffing. But when you do hit your hand, make sure that is a spot where you got to bet big. All right, hit a straight here. Beautiful. With ace 3. All right, so we're actually not playing too badly. Getting a few hands it does help as well. So getting some easy decisions. All right, gotta let go of ace queen. Probably a little bit tight. Probably could have at least called there. All right, I'm going to leave these tables, and also possibly we could have a second session today as well. All right, and seeing if there's another table we can have. Anyway, open these up and get them going again. Just want to protect. I will 3-bet ace jack offsuit. Also, shoves sick. All right, queen's got a 3-bet against the small blind. Good for Bay. Could be just trying to steal the blinds, which it looks like he was. Also, a good ace there could actually call and try and beat us. But yeah, we had another dollar cash ticket, which was really needed. Okay, so there was no 3-bet here. So we should have the best hands here a lot of the times. Plus, we're defending. If he does raise, there's so many draws out there. We don't mind seeing a fold, since it's going to be a lot of nasty rivers here. Yeah, easy fold. At the end of the day, we've only got a pair, and you know he's just got his beat there. All right, so ace queen, a lot of backdoors. We've got overcards, backdoor flush. All right, gonna bet the ace 2 though. We'll defend with ace 4. We do have position. Gonna call at least once here and float the pot. Try and steal it with ace 4. Hits our hand. Hits our range, sorry. All right, ace 2, stole it. Nice. That 3 does not help anyone. All right, no one wants to win it, so we're going to try and steal it. Purely doing it to see folds. All right, perfect. All right, ace 3, king 7 suited. All right, still playing on the tighter side, but queen jack suited, a little bit looser. Yeah, still just keeping a little bit tight with pre-flop anyway. All right, we'll call. We do have position, that's the reason why we do call. This shoves. Would have hit the straight one in the hand, probably. He probably had a set. But that's fine. He probably had queens. Ace 10, ace queen, let's open. All right, so this is a nasty board. We'll throw a bet in, hopefully win early. I still think we've got the best hand some of the time here, so we need to bet. He could be calling with a spade. I'm going to flat queens. Just check behind. I think he's fine. Yeah, he had a spade. But also, we had a better spade. All right, standard to call here. Okay, queens. Doesn't look good. Ace king got there. He could have aces. You could have jacks. I think the king got there, so we're going to fold. All right, pocket kings. Hits his board. But we're going to bet it. There's a lot of dangerous cards out there. Still got position. But yeah, dangerous board. Just let it go. It's fine. All right, so we've done a few type folds. All right, so at the currently as it stands, we're slightly over 40 now. But we know that can really change. But I do expect to try and squeeze in this, maybe try and squeeze in the second session. But we'll see. Really want to see a 10 there. All right, got bottom pair. All right, we'll call one more. All right, we'll let go. He's saying he's got aces, but he could have a better king as well. We didn't have a good kicker. We had a problem with our hand. All right, A7's folding pre-flop. We'll build the pot up. We've got two overcards. Ace4 in the button. All right, bottom pair. Oh, actually middle pair. All right, we'll bet well we'll get the best hand there some of the time. Perfect. So he's playing his range there when he leads into us. He thinks that we'll let go of over pairs. Or not over pairs, over cards. And he's playing his range, so he thinks his range was his range was neutral compared to ours. Defend. We'll check raise king 7. He could have ace king. He could have a really strong king here. So we're going to check raise. We'll go for stacks. If he's got a flush, so be it. He didn't call instantly. I think the diamond actually slows him up. So yeah, I think the diamond slowed him up, which is terrible. Just bad luck for us. I think the diamond doesn't come out. He's calling the ace king there. The other thing we could have done was probably do a small bet, but then if he goes over the top and shoves, he's repping a flush, and then we get in a hard spot. So, all right, we'll bet this. We've got a gut shot. Like last time, if we hit, we're going to be happy. We'll call one at least. Deeper stacked as well. Now we've got a double gutter. But the problem is if we hit the 9, Queen Jack gets in there as well. 5-4. All right, we'll bet. Hits our range. We'll bet again. Still hits our range, but unfortunately got no help there, so. He's got a straight anyway. And we fold against him. He's just going all in with, looks like aces or kings. Gut shot with king, queen. We've got to throw a bet in because we don't have another club for free. Need to charge those draws before we lose the hand. Kings are opening up. Yeah, we'll flat ace four suited. Yeah, summon ships all in. Interesting. Don't think we can call. Yeah, get a free card. He could easily have an ace in his range. I'm going to call one more. Actually, go fold. Right, Jack 8 offsuit, get a fold. You do have to remember as well, the rake is quite high, so you need to adjust your. And that's the reason why people play tight. It's because you get paid. You have to pay quite a lot to be in a pot. Right, ace queen folding there. Nice river, but at the same time, a lot of outs for our opponent if he is, trips, flush, whatever you want. Got pocket eights, king jack offsuit, holding king jack offsuit. It is a marginal hand. We'll defend eights though. We got top pair, plus he didn't 3-bet, so he could have a weak ace, but we could be in trouble as well. He could have a king, so we definitely value betting or snapping this off. All right, got to bet eights. 9 comes out. We got a straight. All right, got to bet this one. We got the ace. You might call it a king. Or a 7. Beautiful. Even better. All right, king 8 folding there. Although you could probably ask yourself to call. All right, I'm going to finish with the pocket threes, I guess. I'm going to check raise with threes here. Defend with king 9. We'll raise it up and see what happens. Do have a gut shot if the jack of. All right, free card. All right, let's go check behind. He had ace jack. All right, so he blocked our straight, and he had a straight anyway. So he's slow playing that one. That was pretty cheeky. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll probably have a second session as well. Got to pick up some from school, but this was a short little session, and it was not too bad. All right, so hopefully you've learned a little bit from, from my tilting and going from there. So, anyway, guys, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe and go from it. Good luck, guys, at the tables. See you later. Bye.